One of the world's most recognisable motoring icons across the globe, no matter where you are, is a Ford Mustang. Doesn't matter what version or model that you're looking at, the universal opinion is that it's a great looking car. When it was first introduced to the States, it was loved, and that is why you still see it today, and that's why it is the name that it is. The current model that's out is honestly one of the best looking cars I have seen, and if I had the money to buy it, it would definitely be a consideration. And even if you go back beyond any other model, they usually look great. The muscle car coupe of the Mustang is solidified in motor history as well. And whenever it pops up in any pop culture or your life or whatever, I think it's one of the most iconic things ever. One of the most iconic cars that I can think of in TV shows or films is Tommy Egan's 1969 Mustang in the series Power. That car tells you the majority about his character, and it suits his character so much, not to mention it's a great looking car. Considering the price of it in the US, it's a no-brainer as to why it's everywhere over there. Even when I've only seen a small microcosm of the US in going to Disneyland, Florida on a holiday with a family, I would see these on most drives. I would see these in the airport, and they're ridiculously cheap to rent from the airport too. And in 2016, the Mustang was introduced as a right-hand drive car into the UK, which had never happened before. And that model that was brought in is still the one today. It's been slightly changed and slightly updated, but it is still the same shape, and it is incredible. And every time I see them here, I've seen a couple around Manchester, and I think they're great looking cars, and it does just make you look and just go, wow. But unfortunately in the UK, it's not the same as the US. It's not the same context, and it's not the same car. It's not the same patriotism that it is over there. And when it comes over here at a higher price tag because of the customs duty and then also the manufacturing cost to produce it as a right-hand drive car, it doesn't necessarily translate very well. And when the sole purpose of the car is to have a V8 at the front, petrol isn't the same over here as it is in the US. And so it's not necessarily practical to live with, and it's not necessarily something that most people would buy because they wouldn't be willing to entertain that. And I think that's the reason that there's a disgusting 2.4 litre EcoBoost version of the Mustang, which I categorically do not agree with. The whole point and the heart of a Mustang is its V8. If you take the V8 away, it's not a Mustang. It's one of many things that annoys me with the electric Mustang, one of many, because it doesn't have a V8 in it, you can't call it a Mustang. But you can understand as to why someone has done that over here, because it's better fuel economy, it still looks like a Mustang, and it is cheaper than a V8. So you can understand why that isn't the case. And if you were going to buy a 2.4 litre Mustang, would you not be looking at like an Audi S5 with a 3 litre V6, or would you not be looking at like a Jaguar F-Type V6? Your sort of alternatives for a coupe. And if you desperately, iconically, had your heart set on a Mustang, you would get the V8, wouldn't you? Because if you were truly in love with it, you would understand how much importance is on that engine. So it's a bit of a sort of contrast, and you can understand why the sales haven't been through the roof when it's been brought over here. And even then, it is a massive car. It is a massive coupe that's not got that much practicality, that in the culture of the US sort of works, but doesn't necessarily translate over here. But either way, if I suddenly won the lottery and had disposable income of millions, I would be buying one of these because it is iconic and it is a beautiful car. Just when it comes to the sensible nature of buying a car here to live with, it doesn't necessarily translate. But who am I to tell you about the Mustang in the UK? I drive a white Fiesta. It might still be a Ford, but it is nothing like that. So go and do your own research if you're thinking of getting a Mustang for yourself or learning about it.